On a bitterly cold night in Montana, Officer Lucy Walker spots something she never expected: a lone German shepherd standing silently on a snowy road, its eyes pleading urgently. With every step she follows deeper into the storm, she unravels a shocking mystery hidden beneath the snow. Will Lucy risk everything to uncover the truth? Or will secrets buried in ice remain lost forever? What would you do in Lucy's shoes? Comment below and don't forget to subscribe for more incredible stories of courage, loyalty, and hope. In the heart of Montana, nestled beneath the jagged mountains, lay the sleepy little town of Cedar Ridge. Known for its tranquility and tight-knit community, Cedar Ridge was now engulfed in a fierce winter storm. Heavy snow fell relentlessly, burying everything in sight beneath thick, icy blankets. Streetlights barely pierced the swirling snowflakes, casting a pale, ghostly glow over deserted streets. Patrolling these empty roads was Officer Lucy Walker. At 29, Lucy was admired in Cedar Ridge for her dedication and sense of justice. Standing around 5 feet 7 inches tall, Lucy had an athletic build honed by years of rigorous police training. Her chestnut hair was always neatly tied in a practical ponytail under her officer's cap, framing a face marked by determined hazel eyes and a calm demeanor that hid a personal toughness born from losing her mother at a young age. Lucy's independent spirit and resilience stemmed from growing up under the sole care of her father, a retired police officer who instilled in her the strength needed for her demanding profession. As Lucy navigated the treacherous roads, struggling to see through the blinding blizzard, her attention was suddenly drawn to something ahead: a dark silhouette standing motionless in the swirling snow. Her heart quickened as she slowed down, bringing her patrol car to a cautious stop. Illuminated by her headlights stood a German shepherd, large and imposing, its thick fur dusted white from the snowfall. The dog gazed silently at Lucy, its deep brown eyes filled with a strange mix of urgency and calm intelligence. Lucy hesitated briefly, assessing the situation carefully. The shepherd did not bark nor move aggressively. Instead, it stood unwaveringly still, radiating an odd sense of purpose. Trusting her instincts, Lucy slowly stepped out of her vehicle, the freezing wind immediately biting through her thick uniform. The dog observed her quietly, unflinching and patient, as if waiting specifically for her. "Hey, buddy, are you lost?" Lucy's voice, gentle yet cautious, barely rose above the howl of the wind. The dog merely tilted its head slightly, eyes locked firmly on her own. Without warning, it turned deliberately and began walking steadily into the dense woods lining the roadside. The snow swallowed its form quickly, but Lucy could still see faint paw prints trailing deeper into darkness. Lucy felt a surge of doubt. It was dangerous and potentially reckless to venture into the forest during a raging blizzard, especially alone, but something about the dog's deliberate movements and quiet confidence tugged at her intuition. With a firm resolve, she grabbed her flashlight and zipped her heavy jacket tighter around her neck, taking careful steps to follow the animal's fading tracks. The woods closed around her, quickly cutting off any comforting sight of the road. Trees, burdened by heavy snow, loomed overhead, their branches occasionally dropping cold, powdery cascades onto her shoulders. Her boots sank deep into fresh snow, making each step arduous. Ahead, the German shepherd continued its methodical pace, occasionally pausing and turning its head back as if to confirm Lucy's presence. After what felt like a long, arduous trek through the relentless storm, Lucy's flashlight suddenly caught a reflective glint beneath a snow-covered bush. Her heart pounded faster as she knelt and brushed away the snow, revealing a military-grade emergency beacon weakly blinking through the storm. She recognized immediately that it belonged to Ethan Harper, a decorated military veteran and local hero who had mysteriously disappeared several days earlier. Lucy quickly grabbed her radio, urgently relaying her location and discovery back to dispatch. Glancing at the dog who now sat quietly observing her, she felt a newfound awe. "You knew exactly what you were doing, didn't you?" Lucy whispered gratefully, recognizing an intelligence far beyond ordinary in its calm eyes. The shepherd slowly stood again, turning its gaze deeper into the forest. Lucy faced a critical choice. Backup would arrive soon, yet her instincts urged her to follow the dog further. Ethan Harper might be close, injured, and in desperate need of immediate help. Overwhelmed by duty and an inexplicable trust in the animal, Lucy made her decision. Clutching her flashlight tighter, she radioed a final confirmation of her path, then stepped forward once again, deeper into the shadowy heart of the relentless blizzard, trusting fully in the silent companion leading her onward.
Lucy Walker's flashlight trembled slightly in her hand as she ventured deeper into the dense, snow-covered forest, following the silent yet purposeful German shepherd ahead. Each step felt heavier than the last, her legs weary from trudging through knee-deep snow. The biting cold seeped through her clothing despite the heavy parka, and her breath formed misty clouds before dissipating into the night air. Her radio crackled occasionally, confirming backup was on the way, but the static reminded her how isolated she truly was. Ahead, the shepherd paused, its silhouette still and vigilant beneath a cluster of snow-laden pines. Lucy quickened her pace, sensing something significant awaited. As she drew near, the beam of her flashlight revealed a steep embankment, and at its bottom, nearly concealed by thick snowdrifts, the overturned remains of a Jeep Wrangler. Lucy's heart thudded painfully in her chest. She recognized the vehicle from recent reports. It belonged to Ethan Harper, the respected but reclusive military veteran whose sudden disappearance had sparked widespread speculation. Ethan, a robust man in his late 30s, had been well known in Cedar Ridge for his military service and subsequent withdrawal from public life. Broad-shouldered, tall, with close-cropped dark hair flecked prematurely with gray, Ethan had always carried himself with quiet intensity, his eyes conveying a silent depth hinting at unseen struggles. Lucy felt a pang of guilt. When initial concerns were raised, she'd brushed them aside, believing Ethan, burdened by attention, had simply left to seek solitude. Now, seeing his vehicle trapped beneath snow, Lucy's assumption felt painfully naive. Carefully, she scrambled down the slope, nearly slipping multiple times, the shepherd matching her movements precisely. Reaching the vehicle, Lucy brushed away snow from the driver's side window, peering inside. Thankfully empty, but she caught sight of a wallet partially submerged beneath a thick layer of ice on the passenger seat. Using her gloved hand, Lucy smashed through the brittle ice and retrieved the wallet. Opening it, her heart sank. Ethan Harper's identification stared back at her, confirming the severity of the situation. Immediately, Lucy activated her radio, voice steady but urgent. "Dispatch, this is Officer Walker. I found Ethan Harper's Jeep overturned deep in the woods, approximately 3 miles northeast from the main road. Send medical assistance immediately. Harper is not in the vehicle, but conditions suggest severe circumstances." Static crackled briefly before the dispatcher responded crisply. "Copy, Officer Walker. Teams are mobilizing immediately. Stay safe out there." Lucy stood quietly, her mind racing with thoughts of Ethan Harper's possible fate. The German shepherd watched her intently, eyes patient yet expectant, its breath frosting gently in the air. Lucy wondered briefly about the dog's connection to Ethan. Was this shepherd his companion? Had it stayed with him until he could no longer move? A sudden rustling broke Lucy's concentration. Her hand instinctively moved toward her sidearm, senses heightened. From behind a nearby tree emerged Hannah Harper, Ethan's younger sister. Lucy had known Hannah casually from their school days, but they hadn't spoken in years. Hannah, slender and petite, was wrapped in a heavy jacket slightly too large for her frame. Her long auburn hair spilled untamed beneath her woolen hat, framing a face marked by anxious determination and exhaustion. "Hannah," Lucy said in disbelief. What are you doing out here? It's dangerous. Hannah exhaled heavily, her breath misting into the frigid air. I couldn't just wait. Ethan is out here, Lucy. I had to find him. Her voice trembled slightly with both fear and resolve. I've been following tracks, and then I heard your radio call. Lucy nodded slowly, appreciating Hannah's determination, but equally concerned by her recklessness. Hannah had always been fiercely protective of Ethan, their bond deepened by the traumatic loss of their parents in a car accident years ago. Hannah, now a nurse in Cedar Ridge, had devoted her life to caring for others, her nurturing demeanor well-known and respected within the community. Lucy could see how deeply Ethan's disappearance had shaken Hannah's usually composed exterior. The shepherd approached Hannah, sniffing her gently before nudging her hand. Hannah knelt, stroking the dog's fur softly. "This is Ranger," Hannah whispered, her voice filled with emotion. "Ethan trained him as a search and rescue dog before he left the service. They're inseparable. Ranger wouldn't have left Ethan unless—" Hannah's voice cracked, unable to finish the thought. Lucy placed a reassuring hand on Hannah's shoulder. "We'll find him, Hannah. We have to trust Ranger. He led me this far." She turned her attention back to the dog, who was now staring intently into the darkness ahead, clearly signaling their journey was not over. Taking a steadying breath, Lucy radioed dispatch once more to update them on Hannah's presence, emphasizing urgency. With confirmation that additional units were rapidly approaching, Lucy, Hannah, and Ranger prepared to press on. Snow fell steadily around them, blanketing the landscape in relentless whiteness. Yet the trio felt a newfound resolve. Lucy knew they faced difficult choices ahead, but the stakes were too high to hesitate. Together, they followed Ranger deeper into the forest, guided by faith in the dog's extraordinary training and unwavering loyalty. The secrets hidden beneath the snow whispered ominously, promising revelations that would change their lives irrevocably. Yet amidst uncertainty, Lucy felt a growing hope. Perhaps redemption awaited, concealed within the icy embrace of the Montana wilderness. As dawn reluctantly broke through the dense, snow-heavy clouds, Cedar Ridge came alive with anxious activity. The storm had finally begun to ease, leaving behind a thick, heavy blanket of snow across the small Montana town. News of Ethan Harper's Jeep discovery spread rapidly, prompting residents to join the effort, bundled in heavy coats and equipped with flashlights and radios. Their faces, etched with concern and determination, revealed the close bonds within the community. At the edge of town, near the hastily assembled Search Command Center, a modest tent with portable heaters humming softly inside, stood Sheriff Jack Whitaker. Whitaker was a tall, barrel-chested man in his mid-50s, known for his steady temperament and imposing presence. His short, silver-flecked hair was mostly hidden beneath a dark wool hat, and his keen, steel-blue eyes scanned the volunteers carefully, organizing them into coordinated groups. Whitaker's calm authority came from decades of experience in law enforcement, making him a trusted leader in crises. Lucy Walker watched from short distance, absorbing the controlled chaos around her. Beside her stood Hannah Harper, arms crossed tightly over her chest. Though petite and usually gentle, Hannah now displayed a resilience Lucy hadn't fully expected. Their previous friendship had frayed years ago after a bitter misunderstanding over mutual high school friend Sarah Bellamy's accidental death, each blaming the other quietly, though never openly confronting the issue. Now, united by Ethan's disappearance, both women understood they needed to put old grievances aside. "Okay, people," Sheriff Whitaker's authoritative voice echoed sharply, drawing everyone's attention. "We'll fan out northeast, toward Eagle Ridge and Silver Creek. Stay within eyesight of your groups, keep your radios handy, and signal immediately if you find anything." Lucy felt a gentle nudge at her side. Looking down, she saw Ranger, the German shepherd, watching her expectantly. His intelligent eyes, clear and calm, reassured her. Ethan had trained him exceptionally. His confidence radiated strength, bolstering her resolve. "I think Ranger wants us to move," Hannah murmured softly, her voice steady despite clear exhaustion. Lucy nodded and signaled Whitaker, who gave an approving nod in return. With that, they ventured deeper into the snow-covered woods, Ranger leading with quiet determination. Hours of difficult terrain and relentless cold tested their endurance. Every step felt heavier than the last, their boots sinking deeply into thick snow, their breath crystallizing instantly in the bitter air. As fatigue grew, Ranger suddenly halted, head lowered intently towards something barely visible in the snow. Lucy carefully knelt down, brushing away layers of powder to reveal a torn piece of Ethan's olive green jacket. Hannah took a sharp breath, eyes wide with both fear and hope. "He's alive, Lucy. You must have left it as a clue." Hannah's voice quivered slightly with emotion. "Yes," Lucy affirmed firmly, feeling a renewed surge of determination. She radioed their find back to the command center, prompting renewed urgency among the other search teams. Meanwhile, deeper in the forest, another group was encountering challenges of their own. Deputy Mark Campbell, a lean man in his early 30s with a cheerful personality that typically made him popular among Cedar Ridge's residents, was struggling to keep spirits up among his team. Mark's blonde hair stuck out wildly beneath his cap, his usually upbeat face now drawn with worry. Among his volunteers was Janice Cooper, a retired schoolteacher in her late 60s, known throughout Cedar Ridge for her kindness and gentle wisdom. Slightly stooped with age, but determined to help, Janice moved slowly but resolutely, her clear blue eyes scanning carefully for signs of Ethan. "I taught Ethan, you know," Janice said softly, her voice warm despite the cold air. "He was always quiet, thoughtful. War changed him, but underneath, he's still that thoughtful boy. He wouldn't just vanish without leaving clues." Mark nodded solemnly, appreciating Janice's unwavering faith. "We'll find him, Janice. He's strong." Back with Lucy and Hannah, Ranger's movements suddenly quickened, his pace purposeful and confident. Following close behind, the women emerged at a clearing near Silver Creek. Ranger approached a thick cluster of bushes, tail wagging slightly, a hopeful sign. Lucy moved quickly, kneeling once again to uncover another small sign. This time, Ethan's dog tags, partially buried yet deliberately placed. "He knew we'd search," Hannah whispered shakily, holding the tags tightly in her gloved hand. Lucy placed a comforting hand on her shoulder, feeling a deeper respect and compassion for Hannah's quiet strength. "We're getting closer," Lucy reassured her gently. Suddenly, the radio crackled to life. Sheriff Whitaker's voice emerged sharply. "Walker, Harper, we're getting more snowfall in the area. Visibility is dropping rapidly. Consider heading back until conditions improve." Lucy exchanged a resolute glance with Hannah. Retreating now, when they were clearly so close, felt impossible. "We're close, Sheriff," Lucy replied firmly. "We found Ethan's dog tags near Silver Creek. We need to push forward." Requesting another half hour. A brief pause followed before Whitaker responded with cautious approval. "Understood, but keep me updated and stay safe." Feeling emboldened, Lucy and Hannah pressed onward, Ranger leading confidently. They navigated through thickening snowfall, visibility worsening rapidly. As the snow swirled heavier around them, Hannah suddenly stumbled, twisting her ankle on a hidden root beneath the snow. She gasped sharply in pain, dropping to the snow-covered ground. Lucy quickly knelt by her side. "Can you walk?" Hannah winced but nodded bravely. "I have to. Ethan needs us." Lucy carefully supported Hannah, impressed by her courage, recognizing a profound resilience born from the tragedies Hannah had already faced in her life. Their renewed closeness, forged by this shared struggle, felt significant, healing old wounds they'd avoided for far too long. Ranger paused again, ears perked forward sharply, eyes staring intently into the swirling snow. Lucy tensed instinctively, sensing another crucial clue. Moving forward carefully, Lucy uncovered one final item, a small, blood-stained bandage, clearly recent. Hannah clutched the bandage tightly, eyes glistening with relief. "He's hurt but alive. Ethan's still fighting." Lucy nodded firmly, her voice steady. "And so are we. Together, With a newfound resolve fueled by friendship reborn and determination strengthened by the desperate circumstances, Lucy and Hannah knew their journey was far from over. Ranger, calm yet alert, waited patiently, clearly prepared to lead them even deeper into the wilderness. They pressed onward into the thickening storm, hearts bound by an unspoken but powerful hope. The hope that Ethan Harper would soon be found and the community of Cedar Ridge restored. Lucy and Hannah pressed deeper into the worsening storm, their progress increasingly hampered by fierce winds and dense snowfall. Visibility was limited to just a few feet ahead, forcing them to rely heavily on Ranger, whose quiet confidence remained unwavering. Hannah's injured ankle slowed their pace, but determination pushed them forward. Ranger, sensing their fatigue, paused occasionally to let them catch their breath, his keen eyes always scanning their surroundings carefully. After nearly an hour of relentless trekking, the terrain became more rugged. Towering rock formations began to loom around them, signaling their approach to Eagle Ridge, a notoriously treacherous area known for steep cliffs and hidden caves. Lucy tightened her grip on Hannah's arm, sensing the mounting danger. Ranger, however, seemed to gain energy as he moved purposefully forward, tail raised confidently. The dog suddenly halted, ears erect, nose pointed sharply toward a barely visible opening in the cliffside, partially concealed by snow-covered bushes. Lucy's pulse quickened as she approached cautiously, shining her flashlight into the darkness. Her breath caught as the light revealed the hunched form of Ethan Harper, alive but severely weakened. He leaned heavily against the rocky wall, eyes half closed, shivering uncontrollably beneath his torn jacket. His usually strong, broad frame appeared gaunt and frail, dark stubble shadowing his hollow cheeks. "Ethan!" Hannah cried, rushing forward despite the sharp pain in her ankle. Ethan stirred slightly, struggling to focus. Hannah gently grasped his hand, tears streaking down her pale, exhausted face. "You found me," Ethan croaked weakly, his voice barely audible over the howling wind outside. His cracked lips formed a faint smile, revealing both relief and gratitude. Lucy swiftly assessed Ethan's injuries. A deep laceration on his forehead crusted with dried blood, along with several cuts and bruises visible beneath his torn clothing. Clearly, he had endured several days without adequate shelter or food, surviving only on determination and sheer willpower. Lucy quickly radioed their position to Sheriff Whitaker, urging immediate extraction due to Ethan's critical state. Sheriff Whitaker's voice crackled back urgently, confirming that rescue teams were mobilizing quickly toward their coordinates. Lucy felt momentary relief before a sudden, deep rumble interrupted her thoughts. The ground beneath them trembled violently, snow cascading from above as the unmistakable sound of an avalanche filled their ears. "Inside? Quickly!" Lucy shouted urgently, pulling Hannah and Ethan deeper into the cave as snow thundered down outside, sealing their entrance in seconds. Darkness enveloped them, the only illumination provided by Lucy's flickering flashlight. "Is everyone all right?" Lucy asked breathlessly, scanning her companions. Hannah nodded shakily, clinging to Ethan tightly, her face pale yet resolute. Ethan, visibly weaker, managed a slight nod, eyes dulled by pain but still fighting. Trapped and isolated, Lucy assessed their dire situation. The cave was bitterly cold, and their meager supplies, a few protein bars and a bottle of water, offered minimal relief. Ranger, however, seemed unbothered by the darkness, calmly circling around the group, occasionally pressing his warm body against Ethan, offering comforting warmth. Throughout the tense hours, Ranger displayed remarkable training and instinct. Whenever Ethan's consciousness drifted dangerously towards sleep, Ranger nudged him awake gently but insistently. Hannah spoke softly, recalling childhood memories, her calm voice providing mental anchor points to keep Ethan engaged and responsive. Lucy frequently communicated via radio, updating their status to Whitaker, whose teams worked tirelessly outside to clear the blockage. Amidst their grim situation, Lucy found herself silently reflecting. Her guilt over initially dismissing Ethan's disappearance gnawed deeply, fueling her determination to keep them alive until rescue arrived. Hannah, though physically fragile from injury and exhaustion, showed impressive resilience, providing emotional strength. Their renewed bond, forged by this shared trauma, helped sustain their spirits. After what felt like an eternity, faint sounds of digging penetrated the cave, growing steadily louder. Lucy's heart leaped in cautious hope. Sheriff Whitaker's voice emerged from Lucy's radio clearly. "Walker, we're nearly through. Hold tight." Moments later, shards of daylight pierced the darkness as rescuers breached the cave. Whitaker appeared first, his sturdy form filling the entrance reassuringly, followed by Deputy Mark Campbell and several volunteers, including Janice Cooper, her gentle eyes brimming with relief and tears. "You made it," Whitaker said simply, gripping Lucy's shoulder firmly. His typically stoic face softened with profound respect. Campbell swiftly coordinated Ethan's careful evacuation, lifting him onto a stretcher with practiced care. Lucy, Hannah, and Ranger followed closely behind, emerging from the cave into bright daylight. The storm had finally subsided, revealing a breathtaking landscape transformed by sparkling, pristine snow. Ranger stood quietly beside Lucy, his calm demeanor offering silent reassurance. Exhausted yet deeply grateful, Lucy felt renewed hope fill her heart. Despite harrowing odds, they had survived together, strengthened by unity, resilience, and an extraordinary dog named Ranger. As rescuers carried Ethan carefully down the mountain toward waiting medical teams, Lucy understood profoundly that their trial by survival had not only tested them physically, but had forever transformed the bonds that connected them. Night descended softly upon Cedar Ridge, cloaking the small Montana town in quiet darkness. The relentless snowstorm had finally ceased, leaving the town silent and beautifully still beneath a clear, star-studded sky. Inside Cedar Ridge Hospital, a modest facility known for its compassionate care, Ethan Harper lay quietly in bed, exhaustion evident on his pale, drawn features, his wounds meticulously tended. Beside his bed sat Hannah, her face illuminated softly by the dim glow of a bedside lamp, exhaustion etched into her gentle features. Lucy stood nearby, leaning slightly against the windowsill, watching snowflakes gently settle outside, her own fatigue mingling with relief. Ranger lay quietly beside Ethan's bed, his large head resting gently on the mattress near Ethan's hand. The German shepherd's intelligent eyes watched over Ethan protectively, his calm demeanor offering quiet reassurance to everyone in the room. Occasionally, Ethan's hand moved gently to stroke Ranger's fur, the simple gesture speaking volumes about their deep bond. Ethan finally stirred slightly, eyes opening slowly, filled initially with confusion, then recognition. His gaze moved first to Hannah, then to Lucy, gratitude evident despite his weakened state. "I owe both of you so much," Ethan murmured softly, voice strained but sincere. "You owe Ranger most of all," Hannah replied gently, smiling faintly as she stroked Ranger's soft fur. "He never gave up on you." Ethan nodded slowly, eyes darkening slightly as memories surfaced. He hesitated, taking a deep breath before continuing quietly. "I trained Ranger myself. He was one of the best search and rescue dogs the military ever had. After my unit returned from our last mission, though, things changed. I changed." Lucy moved closer, listening carefully. Ethan's words revealed layers of pain long hidden beneath his reserved exterior. Hannah gently grasped her brother's hand, silently urging him to continue. "The mission," Ethan continued slowly, voice barely above a whisper, "ended badly. We lost good men, close friends. I blamed myself for their deaths, even though everyone told me it wasn't my fault. Ranger and I retired together after that, but the nightmares, the guilt, it was overwhelming. I thought isolation would help me heal, but hiding only made it worse." Lucy felt profound empathy stirring within her. The guilt Ethan described resonated deeply, mirroring her own feelings over initially dismissing his disappearance. Hannah's eyes glistened softly with tears, clearly understanding the depth of Ethan's internal battle. I didn't want attention or sympathy, Ethan continued quietly. I just wanted peace. I pushed everyone away, including you, Hannah. I'm sorry. Hannah squeezed his hand gently, voice tender yet firm. You don't have to apologize, Ethan. All we want is for you to heal and come home. You're never alone. You never were. Ethan managed a faint smile, relief visible in his eyes, as if a heavy burden had finally begun to lift. That avalanche, strangely, it was what finally woke me up. It forced me to see clearly. I realized that running away from my pain was making everything worse, not better. Facing it head-on, letting others in, that's the only real way to heal. Lucy nodded in quiet agreement, Ethan's words deeply resonating with her. She glanced at Hannah, their eyes meeting briefly, understanding passing silently between them. The years-old rift that had silently haunted their friendship began dissolving, replaced by mutual respect and compassion. A soft knock at the door interrupted their quiet moment. Dr. Emily Foster entered, a respected local physician in her early 40s known for her compassionate bedside manner. Emily was slender and graceful, her dark hair swept neatly into a practical bun, her gentle blue eyes radiating genuine warmth and concern. It's getting late, Emily said gently, smiling softly at the small group. Ethan needs rest, and so do both of you. Reluctantly, Hannah stood, leaning down to place a soft kiss on Ethan's forehead. Lucy moved toward the door, gently touching Ethan's shoulder reassuringly. We'll be back tomorrow, Lucy promised quietly, her voice sincere. Ethan's gaze shifted once more to Ranger, who remained faithfully by his side. He'll stay with me tonight? Ethan asked softly, hope evident in his voice. Dr. Foster smiled warmly, nodding in understanding. Absolutely. Ranger earned that right. Outside the hospital room, Lucy and Hannah lingered briefly in the quiet hallway. Hannah's voice was soft, reflective. We wasted so much time, Lucy. Our friendship, Sarah's death, it's haunted us too long. Ethan's right. Facing pain is the only way to move forward. Lucy nodded slowly, sincerity shining in her hazel eyes. I'm sorry I didn't see it sooner. I let pride and guilt blind me for too long. Ethan taught me something important tonight. Hannah smiled softly, reaching out and gently squeezing Lucy's hand. He taught us both. We can rebuild what we lost, Lucy. Together. The two women shared a quiet moment of understanding, wounds of the past finally beginning to heal under the gentle illumination of mutual forgiveness and compassion. Outside, the snow continued softly, blanketing Cedar Ridge in pristine beauty, symbolizing new beginnings for all who live there. Morning sunlight gently filtered through the frost-coated windows of Cedar Ridge Hospital, casting warm golden hues into Ethan Harper's quiet room. Ethan awoke slowly, feeling an unexpected sense of clarity and peace despite lingering pain. At his bedside, Ranger's calm, watchful presence immediately reassured him. Ethan reached out, stroking the dog's thick, warm fur, grateful beyond words for his companion's unwavering loyalty. Lucy Walker quietly entered the room moments later, dressed in civilian clothes rather than her usual police uniform. Her long chestnut hair, typically tied tightly back, now fell softly around her shoulders, giving her a gentler, more relaxed appearance. Ethan smiled faintly in greeting, noting the peaceful confidence now reflected clearly in her hazel eyes. Lucy approached softly, sitting in a chair next to Ethan's bed, gently scratching behind Ranger's ears. Good morning, Lucy said warmly, voice soft yet filled with genuine cheerfulness. You look better today. Thanks, Ethan replied softly, smiling slightly. I actually feel better, like something finally lifted. As they spoke, Hannah arrived, accompanied by Dr. Emily Foster. Hannah appeared rested, her expression bright and hopeful. Emily, as always, radiated warmth and competence, offering Ethan an encouraging smile as she reviewed his charts. "You're making remarkable progress, Ethan," Emily announced cheerfully. "In fact, I think you could be discharged tomorrow." Ethan felt profound relief flood through him. Leaving the hospital meant a fresh start, a chance to rebuild and reconnect. Hannah took his hand gently, her supportive grip conveying quiet strength. "We'll all be right here, Ethan," she promised softly. In the days that followed, Ethan's recovery progressed steadily. Supported by Hannah and Lucy, he regained strength physically and emotionally, each day clearer in purpose. Inspired by Ranger's exceptional abilities and unwavering spirit, Ethan began planning a new path forward, training therapy dogs to help others facing similar emotional wounds. Lucy, deeply moved by the connection she formed with Ranger, officially adopted him, grateful every day for his quiet, reassuring presence. Ranger seamlessly transitioned into her daily life, becoming not only her companion, but a symbol of resilience and loyalty for Cedar Ridge. Ethan's idea quickly garnered community support, fueled by the recognition of Ranger's incredible role in their harrowing rescue. Sheriff Jack Whitaker, Deputy Mark Campbell, and even Janice Cooper actively championed the project, rallying volunteers and donors to help establish a therapeutic center dedicated to assisting both veterans struggling with PTSD and local children dealing with emotional trauma. Together, they renovated an abandoned community center, transforming it into the Cedar Ridge Healing Center. Brightly painted walls, comfortable seating areas, and peaceful therapy rooms soon filled the once-neglected space. Ethan, drawing from personal experiences and deep compassion, began training therapy dogs, supported by Ranger, whose calm and patient demeanor set a perfect example. One morning, as Lucy walked Ranger through town, she encountered Sarah Mills, a young woman in her mid-20s, recently returned home from active military duty. Sarah was slender, with short, curly brown hair and wary, observant eyes, hinting at unseen battles. Lucy invited Sarah to visit the healing center. Initially hesitant, Sarah eventually agreed, finding unexpected comfort in the quiet companionship of therapy dogs trained by Ethan. Over weeks, Sarah's initial reserve melted, replaced by growing confidence and openness. She became one of Ethan's most dedicated volunteers, her transformation a testament to the center's profound impact. Months passed, and Cedar Ridge flourished with newfound unity and purpose. Hannah continued working tirelessly alongside Ethan, applying her medical skills and empathetic nature to aid the center's visitors. Lucy regularly volunteered during her off hours, deeply committed to supporting Ethan's mission. At the center's official opening ceremony, attended by nearly the entire town, Sheriff Whitaker proudly delivered a heartfelt speech. Ranger, sitting quietly beside Lucy, seemed to understand the significance of the moment, his calm, watchful presence reinforcing the center's mission of healing and hope. In that instant, Lucy fully understood the profound truth Ethan had uncovered through his trials. True courage was more than simply facing external dangers. It required confronting internal fears, opening oneself up to vulnerability, and allowing wounds to heal through compassion and connection. As applause filled the room, Ethan, Hannah, and Lucy exchanged meaningful glances, each silently acknowledging the transformative journey they had shared. Ranger, ever the symbol of quiet strength and resilience, gently rested his head on Lucy's knee, eyes filled with quiet wisdom, a silent guardian of their newfound peace. Outside, Cedar Ridge lay bathed in warm sunlight, its streets bustling with renewed optimism and vibrant life. Through their struggles and victories, Ethan, Lucy, Hannah, and Ranger had woven an enduring legacy, a testament to the power of unity, empathy, and unwavering hope. The story of Lucy, Ethan, Hannah, and Ranger teaches us something profound about bravery and healing. True courage doesn't just mean facing external dangers. It means being brave enough to confront our inner struggles, opening our hearts to compassion, forgiveness, and unity. In our daily lives, we all carry invisible wounds, perhaps from loss, regret, or misunderstandings. Just like Ethan found peace by sharing his burdens, maybe it's time for us to reach out, rebuild bridges, and embrace healing with those around us. If this story touched your heart, please share it with your loved ones and subscribe to our channel for more stories of hope and resilience. Leave a comment below sharing your own experiences or simply type Amen to send prayers and blessings to those still searching for healing. May God bless each and every one of you watching today, guiding you toward peace and happiness. Remember, you're never truly alone. Amen.